always have. Nancy and I appreciate you being here so we can celebrate our journey, our 50-year journey. Oh, and my goodness, what a journey it has been, I must tell you. 50 years of being with this woman has been absolutely unbelievable. In a lot of good ways, and maybe not so good.
How is it that Nancy described you?
How many years have we been together?
50 miserable goddamn years.
So, when the girls started to organize this, it got to a point where all I wanted, I wanted us to gather and enjoy the time together for the celebration, but I didn't want anything really special, so I said, I just want to do a toast. So my toast is about 10 pages long. Well, maybe,
Who would have thought?
maybe not quite that long, and it's big print, so you're in luck. So anyway, I fussed over what I wanted to say, and what it comes down to is I started writing down words that kind of described our life together over the last 50 years, and they explained some of the milestones and all that good stuff. So, but when I got to the word journey, it just kind of hit me between the eyes like, ooh, this is really what it was, a journey. But what I want to start with is not our journey, but I want to start with Journey. Journey is a young, stray cattle dog that was abandoned on the streets in Texas a few years ago. And what's so special about Journey? Well, she's both deaf and blind. And lots of you have heard this story about Journey, or you've seen posts on occasion about Journey. And you can only imagine what that must have been like, being deaf and blind and dumped out on the streets in Texas. Cars winging by you, whizzing by you, and not knowing what to do. She was unwanted and alone, but Journey was a survivor, much like Nancy and I. Woo! In many ways. So, I think most of us jump into relationships, whether we want to admit it or not, deaf and blind. I know we did. Hey, there's page 1. Now, back to that list of words. They include but aren't limited to love, commitment, expectations, deception, and discrimination. Remember, back in 1969 when Nancy and I got together, we were considered sexual deviants. Whether you remember that or not, but I mean, we had a long road to go before we got to where we are today. We were breaking the law, literally breaking the law. Most of Nancy's friends were educators, like Nancy was, superintendents, VPs, principals, regular teachers, and they considered me jailbait. I was only 19 years old. True story. That's what I was called. True story. They actually, they were very fearful. They didn't know me. They didn't know what I was going to say or do to endanger their livelihood. Nancy's friends started slowly moving away from our circle of friends. And quite honestly, some of them ran like hell. So, just so you know, that McCarthy's lavender scare was a real thing. It wasn't just the red scare, it was called the lavender scare, where homosexuals were being fired from government jobs. Don't forget, I worked for the government for many years. So it was a real thing. So then came the isolation. patience, joy, heartache, openness, and faltering. Page 3. Forgiveness. Having the ability and the willingness to forgive each other. And we did that a lot. I kid you not, we did that a lot. We both faltered at one point or another, thinking maybe the grass was greener on the other side. And we found out the grass was plenty green at home. This led to trust. How could Journey trust again? How could she trust again, being dumped out on the street? Her survival depended on special people giving her a second chance. She soon learned to trust and love those special individuals. Now back to my list. Tears, love, it always wins. Love always wins. Give and take. Compromise. Oh, and we had to do a lot of that. Arguments. Oh my God, we had the best arguments. One that stands out in my mind more than any, and we still laugh about this to this day. We had just bought a little camper. I mean, and it was small. One of the first fiberglass trailers that you could buy. We'd been all the way over to the East Coast. This was summertime, and we headed back, and we were on our way home. And you know, we'd been gone a month and a week at this point, so we were ready to be home. We were camped in this little tiny campground in Hill City, South Dakota. And I couldn't tell you what the argument even was over, but we started having this little thing with each other. And finally Nancy says, "I'm going home." And I said, "Fine, I'm staying here." I go sit down on a little easy chair, a little camp chair, and Nancy's trying to hook up the trailer. Now mind you, she's never hooked up the trailer before. I'm sitting there just laughing inside. I'm laughing inside. She gets it all hooked up, gets in the car and starts to drive off, and plop, the trailer falls off the hitch. We laughed for days after that. It kind of broke the ice.
Literally.
Absolutely. You okay? Get a good cough. Good job. Whew. Okay, patience.
Don't make her laugh.
So this brings up the willingness and the ability to apologize. We're getting there. Humbling, grace, respect, compassion from all that were responsible in getting Journey to her foster failure family in Fort Collins. Love and devotion. Listening. Oh, and listening came hard my way one day. Ooh, this was a toughie. Life was pretty good. I was teaching and kind of in line for a vice principal position at the high school I was teaching at. Nancy was getting really close to her retirement, and things started to change at her work where they were changing the curriculum, and physical education was starting to go away. So they stuck Nancy in at least she had a job, they stuck her in three health classes. And she didn't find that out until like a month before school started. So she had very little time to prepare, and so she'd be coming home at night, working really hard, trying to keep up with the kids. You know, she'd be reading a chapter or two ahead of the kids and then going in and trying to teach. And I could tell it was starting to wear on her. And then she came home one day and said, well, there were shots that went flying through the teacher's lounge. She worked in an area that was a low poverty area. And I could still see the wear and tear on her going having to get up and go to work every day. I get a phone call from her one day, and she never called me at work. I mean, that just wasn't something we did. So she calls me and she says, Jean, she says, I walked out today, and I don't think I can go back. And I said, okay, I'll be home shortly. And I finished my day, got home thinking, it'll be okay. She just had a bad day. And No, it wasn't a bad day. And I listened and I listened and I listened. And she says, I just cannot go back. I said, then don't. Do not go back. That got us here to Colorado. Woo! Look at what it did. Look at what it did for us. I mean, I can't even be, I'm not going to cry. So, that was leading us to new hopes and dreams, a new beginning, excitement, disappointments, of course, love. There was always love, always.
Always.
What?
Good job remembering your cue.
Oh dear. Tolerance, loss, friendships, and family. Oh, family. My extended family, all of you. You are my family.
Woo!
You are our family. And I mean that from the bottom of my little toes. You are our family. You've been our lifeline. You're always there. You check on us. Even when I don't want you to check on us, you're checking on us. You know when we need something, and you're there for that. Knowing just what to say and what to do, and listening. Listening. There's no words to express our gratitude and our love for you all. We are all survivors, not just Journey, but all of us. We're all survivors, sometimes in spite of ourselves. Last page, guys! Nancy and I love life and all that it brings. So let's first raise a glass to all of you. Cheers. Cheers. To our extended family, your generosity and love is endless. Woo! Okay, I got two more. Now, please raise a glass to Journey, my hero and inspiration for this horribly long toast. And it is almost over. And to Journey, who I know can hear and see at a level we humans will never experience. Think about that. Last but not least, give me 5. Here's to my life partner, Nancy, if you didn't already know. And to as many more miserable goddamn years as the universe sees fit.